So we talked about how I got into my addiction while I was working 3 jobs. And at this point, my kids were no longer with me. Then later on down the road, I didn't know I was pregnant yet, so I was still using. I tried quitting just to simply quit, and then I got sick, and then I found out I was pregnant, and I was like, oh, well, crap. So I started looking into an abortion because I'm like, I can't do this. 5 kids? Like, are you kidding? I can't even do it with the kids I have. And I started looking at maybe adoption options, but it's hard. It is, you know how hard it is to adopt a baby? Do you know how hard that is? If I didn't already know Daniel's family, it would have been 10 times harder. So anyways, I got into this whole thing where I was like, hey, I'm going to, since abortion's not legal here in my state, I'm going to create my own. And I started Googling how to abort a baby on my own. And they said, take aspirin and some other medication. So I started taking those, and I went back to using meth because I was like, oh, if I keep using this drug, eventually it'll die off before it turns into a baby. I'm really not proud of it. But, and then finally the family, I had told them, I really didn't want to tell them because I was really thinking that I could abort this baby. But, then I finally broke, and I had told the family, I was like, I'm pregnant. And Bev and Jeff had discussed it. They're like, do we want to adopt this baby? And they finally came to the conclusion they want to adopt the baby that I was pregnant with. And I was like, okay. So eventually I was able to quit because I wanted what was best for Daniel to have the best life. So I quit doing drugs. I got clean, started taking care of myself, all this stuff. Then during this time, I got lucky and I came up on a waiting list for income-based housing that I applied for like 2-3 years ago. So while I was pregnant, I was trying to move all of my stuff in there and everything like that out of my mom's house into this apartment. Because I wasn't living with my mom during this time, but my stuff was still over there. So I move everything out, bring my kids back to the apartment a little before I end up giving birth to Daniel. They were pretty active in my life through the pregnancy. And then came the time that I was ready to give birth, and I had to have a C-section. And so Bev, she was in there with me, and when they asked if I wanted to hold him, I was like, no, she can. I was able to disconnect myself right away because I don't see him as my baby. I see him as their baby. Some people ask how many kids I have. I say 4 because he is not my baby. I gave birth to him. I didn't raise him. However, with my other 4 kids, it'd be a lot harder to give them up. I'll explain more in part 35.